Imagine a world where there were no modern courts, no police departments, and no written constitution. If someone stole from you, injured you, or destroyed your property, who decided what justice looked like? More than 3,700 years ago, one king tried to answer that question. His name was Hammurabi. But Hammurabi wasn't always the ruler of a great empire. When he became king of Babylon, it was only one of many competing powers. Around him were rival kingdoms, powerful armies, and ambitious kings. And Hammurabi understood something. If Babylon was going to survive, it had to become stronger. At first, Hammurabi focused on diplomacy and alliances, but eventually the alliances changed, and Hammurabi began expanding Babylon's power. One kingdom after another fell under Babylonian control. His armies defeated major rivals, and Babylon grew into the dominant power of southern Mesopotamia. But Hammurabi didn't want to be remembered only as a conqueror. He wanted something else, order. And that's when Hammurabi created what would become one of the most famous legal collections in ancient history, the Code of Hammurabi. It was written in cuneiform and placed where people could see the laws. And the laws covered almost everything: property, trade, marriage, workers, debts, crimes, and punishments. Some of the laws were surprisingly detailed. If someone damaged another person's property, there could be a specific punishment. If a builder constructed a house badly and it collapsed, the consequences could be severe. And some punishments depended on the social status of the people involved. One famous principle is often summarized as an eye for an eye. But here's the part many people miss. Hammurabi's laws weren't simply about punishment. They were also about creating a system of rules. Imagine thousands of people living under one kingdom. Different cities, different customs, different social classes, different interests. Hammurabi needed a way to establish authority across them all, and written laws helped him do exactly that. But there is a mystery. Was Hammurabi really the first person to create laws? No. Earlier Mesopotamian rulers had already produced written law collections. So why is Hammurabi remembered so well? Because his code survived in remarkable condition. A massive stone monument was discovered centuries later, covered with hundreds of lines of cuneiform writing. At the top, Hammurabi is depicted standing before the god Shamash, and beneath the image, the laws are written into the stone. Think about what that means. A king who lived nearly 4,000 years ago wanted his laws to outlive him, and they did. But Hammurabi's greatest achievement wasn't simply writing laws, it was what happened to Babylon. Under his rule, Babylon became a major political and cultural center. His empire brought enormous territory under Babylonian authority, but every empire eventually faces the same problem. How do you keep it together after the conqueror is gone? Hammurabi died. His successors struggled, Babylon's power weakened, and eventually, the empire he built began to fall apart. But the laws remained. His empire faded, his soldiers disappeared, his palace became ruins, but his words survived. And thousands of years later, we can still read them. So perhaps Hammurabi's greatest victory wasn't defeating another king. It wasn't capturing another city. It was making sure that his rule could be remembered long after his army was gone. Because sometimes, the most powerful weapon a king can leave behind isn't a sword. It's a law written in stone.